I just wanted to kind of let you know just a couple of quick things going on. There's only a handful of us today. It seems like if I don't send out an email saying there's class today, nobody shows up. But um, I did want to get something out there quick. So I will be going through grades. Yes, grades the next few days because when does the marking period end? Next Wednesday. So I'm gonna send out so just so you know, I send a parent video out every Friday. Hey, what's going on? Parent guardian video. What's going on? This is what they're working on. Please keep an eye out for this and that. So you may have your parent guardian, uncle, cousin, friend, cat, doesn't matter. Taking interest in what you're doing, what you should be working on. Because like I said, the end of the marking period is next Wednesday. And you may want to go in. I would definitely go in and check your grades. See where you're at, see what you've handed in. Maybe you handed stuff in and you didn't hand it in right, or there was an issue and I couldn't open it. So you want to make sure you go in, and if there's ever a time next to something you submitted that says see comments, please click on that. That's from me. It could be a good thing like, hey, Diego, nice job. Keep up the good work. Or Diego, you did a horrible job. What were you thinking? It's in the wrong place. So just keep that in mind. I definitely, like I said, I definitely have some students that have submitted work and it's wrong, or it's in the wrong spot, or it's not done right, and blah blah blah. So make sure you go in and check all that. I'm sure coming up over this next week, counselors are going to be getting involved from your sending school if you're in danger of failure. If you don't have things handed in, unfortunately, I'm getting a ton of emails. What's going on with this kid? What's going on with that kid? This kid's failing. This kid's got nothing done. So I unfortunately have to spend these next, I guess, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days, contacting parents, contacting students. Some of you I may be contacting individually, through email. So please make sure you check your email. I usually send an email out every other day. So just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to get your part done. And really, after next Wednesday, we're going to start another sound project where we learn about what a Foley artist is. Does anybody know what that is? A Foley artist? Okay. He's the person, she's the person that does all the sound effects in movies. Like when you hear a bang or a pop or a gunshot or a kapow or, a slap noise, there's somebody that literally gets paid a lot of money to make sound effects like that. So
Yeah,
we're
I know about them. Yeah,
cool.
they make like sound effects in the big action movies.
Yeah, and there's actually some pretty cool stuff. I saw that, and it's funny. It helped me kind of, I guess, get me to where I am now. I saw a video years ago. I'm not gonna tell you how many years ago, but it was a studio of Foley artists, and it was two guys that were doing a short film. It was like 2 minutes, and they did everything they went through to do the sound effects, and it was crazy. They had this room. It literally looked like a room full of junk. It looked like a trash dump, and it was just tools and supplies to do whatever they need to do to make the sound effects. And it was a really, really cool thing to see. And I'll actually have a video similar to that for you to look at. But next week, you're going to start adding, I'm going to give you some movie clips, and you're going to start adding, and you're going to work with video, and you're going to work with sound, and you're going to do some sound effects, which you can grab off the internet. You can make your own. You can slap yourself. Don't do that. But you can make some cool sound effects on your own. And that'll be the next phase. So actually, these next few weeks, we're going to be working with that. We're going to do a radio commercial spot for 60 seconds for a movie trailer. And then I think the last project will be a 90-second spot for an Apple product commercial. So a lot of sound editing stuff going on. I may break one of those projects up and start teaching some Photoshop. So, just to break things up a little bit. But really, like I said, here we go. Next week is going to be February, and then March, April, May. You need a couple more months and school's done. It's just crazy to think like that. But please make sure, as I said, I do record these videos, and I'm not talking to the 5 of you that are here right now, but I'm talking to those of you that are behind, aren't getting your work done, didn't do well the first marking period, didn't do well the second marking period, you're really kind of putting yourself in a very touchy situation where, here you go. If you failed the first and second marking period, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to keep up the third and the fourth marking period and pass. And as I said before and talked about it, you got to be careful with the whole credit denial and making up classes and stuff. So I would honestly think if you're in the program at this point and you're this far along, that hopefully you're going to stick it out and do the best you can to try. But please go through, make sure you try and do all the work that you can so I can grade it for next week. But that message is for those that really haven't logged on and really been to anything. But keep an eye out. Tomorrow's, actually it might be today's, that'll probably be tomorrow. Tomorrow's weekly parent update, I'm going to send it to all of you too, just to kind of see the updates that I send out on what's going on. And as I said before, I contact parents through email, phone calls, and texts and things like that. And, if you're not doing well and you're not participating and your grades are below a 60, they're going to hear from me because your sending school's asking, my school's asking. And like I said before, we just want you to be successful and do the best you can. All right, so that's over and done with. If anybody has any questions real quick, please put them into the chat. But what I'm going to do today is spend 5-10 minutes just reviewing everything for this project, because we're going to start next week. I'm going to roll out the new project. But really, if everybody pays attention right now, everything is due next Wednesday at noon, because that's the grading closes at 3 p.m. Okay. But I need a few hours to enter all the grades in and make sure everything's done. So if you're waiting to hand stuff in, you do not have a lot of time. So please, I will not have class tomorrow, as I usually do not, but I will be available during office hours. So if you need help with something, saving a file, uploading a file, accessing things, daily discussion topics, tomorrow's the day to let me know. Because eventually kids are going to start piling up, asking all kinds of questions and stuff. Okay. So other than that, did anybody happen to see any of the videos that I posted yesterday? Show of hands. All right.
The playlist you were talking about?
Yes.
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad nobody raised your hand, because you'd all be liars, because there's only 1 or 2 kids that looked at it all. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. For those of you that are here right now, I sent you all an email yesterday. I spent hours putting this playlist together to show you how to do the sound project, upload it, get it done, and get it ready. And to share my screen with you real quick, I have barely any views, and it hurts my feelings because it feels like nobody wants to watch my videos. I put a lot of, famous production work into it. All right, so let me set up my screen here real quick, and put everything in. Okay, and the chat. So take a look here, peoples, and look. So here's my playlist. There's 11 videos I did. Okay. I sat there and literally did step by step to get this project done. So I'm hoping that you all benefit from this. The longest video is almost 8 minutes, but most of them I try to keep them under 5 minutes, and I break them down and chunk them up. Introduction to GarageBand, brainstorming and picking your songs. Here's a video I did yesterday, was importing the music.
You were able to get your songs.
I'll just turn it down. But I sat there and kind of went through the whole entire process. So please make sure that you're at least accessing these videos to know how to do the projects. Okay. It's such a big deal, because when you go through my site, and I don't have a whole ton of subscribers at this point, but if you're in the program and you plan on coming back next year, I would strongly suggest that you try and subscribe to the page, because it'll let you know when new stuff is uploaded. But I generally have students saying to me, I haven't gotten any of your videos. Look at all my videos. I've done I've done a ton of videos. Okay. And the sad part is, if everybody looks here, The beginning of the year was fantastic. I had 60 views, but you know, watch it drop off. 3, 4, 3, 13, you know, and then of course they all went up because everybody wanted a laptop. And then, you know, it looks like, unfortunately, I float around anywhere from 5 to 10 views. Um, so that kind of makes me nervous that people are not really accessing all the content that I'm putting out there. Here's all the playlists that I've done. Um, so please make sure you're trying to access this stuff. Even if you know what you're doing, it doesn't hurt to look at it, you know, boost up my views. But please make sure you're doing that. So, you know, once again, step by step, piece of cake. I'll tell you, I've only got one submission for the mashup so far. It was Deshauna's, and it actually came out really nice. You did a nice job, Deshauna. It takes a little bit of work, you know, for the first time doing it. Well done. It does get difficult fading in, fading out. When does that song kick in properly? When is the time to really kind of blend all that stuff in? So I'm not expecting this beautifully remastered, you know, Hollywood quality, you know, editing masterpiece. But at the very least, if you're getting in there and trying and doing all these different parts, I'll even jump over here to my video. I'm sorry, to the GarageBand project I was working on yesterday. You know, I was playing around. This was from last time we were here, and this is all related to the playlist that I did. And man, it took me forever just to kind of get some of these parts and break them up and try them out. Gotta turn that down a little bit. But I took that Dua Lipa song and was just adding beats and things like that. You know, you hear the piano and stuff like that I added. So, you know, that is just like what? The first 10 seconds. And I already have 1, 2, 3, 4 things going on. Now I'm definitely not saying that you have to get that bananas with it. It would take you, you know, pretty significant amount of time with me standing behind you through the process. But eventually you'll all get to the point where you look at these waveforms and you know, all right, this is where the beat's coming in. This is where the lyrics are coming in. This is where it dies down. So if you have this part where it dies down, you know, that's probably where you want to go in. And don't forget, hit the letter A. And you could see the volume changes I did. But if you see these parts here, you can go, all right, well, I'm going to take this piece and this piece and, you know, make this little fade out and a fade in for that particular part, and then have it pump back in again. You know, you can go and you can do that stuff. But like I said, it's not easy, but it does. It takes time. You sit there, you play it back, and then you get and see how it sounds, and it's a lot of choppiness. So you can hear there's way too much stuff going on in there. So, you know, like I said before, sometimes it's good to go back and play, you know, just one piece at a time and see how it all sounds. You know what I mean? By the time your song's done, if it sounds too messy and there's too much going on, that's my metronome. So, like, I like how this goes. But I feel there, maybe I should have added some more drums into it. So maybe I'm going to go turn this off, this on. Not a big fan of that. Thought I liked it. Now I don't. You know, this drum beat is just way too much going on. So maybe I want to get something just a little bit more mellow. And if you take a look around, so that one's probably a lot more suited than that mess going on. So I'll delete that and say to myself, all right, well, let's put this back in here. See, that's the beauty when you work in GarageBand, is it's never too late to fix it. And because it saves it out as that garageband.band file. And that's what it does. So, so now you can kind of go in real quick and say, all right, well, let's see how this works. Whoop. So as you can see, the tempo is a little better. And then you can go in and add. So you can just add some nice, transitional things in and out, and that's only taken me to the first part of the mashup. You know what I mean? So your mashup can only, it only needs to be 4 songs. Like I said, I'll even let you do one song mashed up for, like you could take this one song from Dua Lipa and just break up the 4 chunks, and your other songs can be these other pieces from loops blended in. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So taking these 4 songs, and that's the way I intentionally wrote this project. It's a 2-week song. Before I leave this, does anybody have questions on what I just did right here, or want me to do anything one more time? Steve?
So I'm just asking this, is there any way to change the tempo of one part of the song?
Yes, you should be able to click here, and then you can go in on that particular track and change the tempo. See what I did? See how I'm changing it right here? It's slowing the tempo down and moving it up faster here. Okay. So you click on you click on your individual track right here, and then you can see the tempo, see the arrows pop up, and that'll change your tempo. So let's try that real quick. Oh wait, mute. I'm better on the other side. I'm all good. Thinking about the way I once did the heartbreak change me. So when you merge the 2 tracks together, it will change the tempo for that particular part. I would definitely say, hold on, but there is a whole section. So if I go in GarageBand, right, and there's a question that you have in your head and you're like, well, it's late, Mr. McCarthy's not around, you can go into GarageBand help. Okay. And this, trust me, this is what I do. Every time an upgrade comes out, I'm like, ugh, now what do I have to learn? So there's a table of contents, but I just like to go in here and change tempo. Let's see what happens. Hopefully something will come up. Or absolutely nothing will come up. I don't know. I have no idea why it's doing that. All right, welcome, loops, blah, 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 blah. It should not do that, but let's try that again. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Aha! Move and copy tempo points in GarageBand. So there's all different types of things. Ready? Intro to the tempo track. It'll go and change all the beats for it. So there are ways, like I said, if I'm not around and you're not 100% sure, this is where online learning really comes in handy, because you're depending on yourself to a certain degree to learn this stuff and try and figure it out, because my hours aren't, conducive to you being up till 3 o'clock in the morning. So, the funny thing is, I really don't go to many people for help anymore. I go online, I look at videos, I go to YouTube, I go to the help section, and that's what I do. Because for me to reach out to somebody else, to bother them, to see if they can help me, yeah, I could probably help you, I'll probably do it tomorrow. Oh, can't do it tomorrow, now I got to do it the next day. Forget it. I've always been the type, and it's, I guess, my generation, and hopefully it'll start to be yours too. I've always been raised to go and try and find the answer myself first. Then if I can't figure it out and it drives me insane, then I will ask somebody else for help. Okay. Because really, you don't want to be dependent on others for help. And I get it. We're in high school. My job is to help you. But when you go off to, whatever school, whatever job, you're going to be dependent upon yourself, to learn what you need to learn. So, take that opportunity, especially Steve, what I just showed you. So if you want to learn how to do the tempo, maybe it would be a good idea if you take notes, and or take a screenshot of what I'm doing right now so you'll remember. And, like when you asked me the other day, hit the letter A so you can see the sound, to be able to change it. Because when I tell you this stuff, there's no way you're going to remember this because you got class tomorrow, you got job tonight, you got to watch your brother or sister. There's always something going on. So you want to make sure that when I am doing these sessions with you, I'm recording this one right now, but maybe you don't want to sit here and go, all right, at minute 29.6, Mr. McCarthy finally mentioned what I asked him. Take notes. I take a look here. I have stuff in front of me at all times, and I take notes about everything. And then what I like to do is I will sit here with my notes, and this is stuff from last week. So I always turn the page. I look at the day before, and I cross off what I did, and then I go on to the next day. Now, some of you, I get it. I'm old school. I love paper because I can hold it in my hand and look at it. If you have your phone, a tablet, your computer, you can create a Microsoft Word document. You can do voice memos on your phone. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you do what works best for you. And that's what's important. So, I just check off. I have so many things to do within a day. It would make your head spin. And I'm sure you all do too. But I am there. I don't leave the amount of brain space empty that would require me to remember all this stuff. I could be doing more important things. So I just write it down. So please, it looks like we're probably going to be stuck home, not home, or at least in some respect, not in school full time for the rest of the year. I mean, I'm trying to teach that way. So make sure you're doing your part to step up to the challenge of doing this. Because guess what? When you come back next year and we're all happy and high-fiving in class, and you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't do any of this stuff at home. You're gonna be doing it in class. And it's gonna be deadline, meet this deadline, get this done. Here's the checklist, blah, 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 blah. So if you can get through this first year from home, you're gonna kill it next year. Okay. So just try and keep that in mind. But as I said, if there's ever something in here you want to figure out to do, I'll bet you $5. Let's go to YouTube real quick. And let's say, change tempo in GarageBand. So I don't do this to replace me as a teacher, but this is, this is great. 7 minutes, or, here's one for 3 minutes. I usually do stuff based on views. And if their voice isn't annoying, hopefully my voice is not annoying. But this is a really good, actually, this guy drives me nuts. I don't like him. So let's try this one here. And this will basically walk you through it. And it's funny because I always have students. One of my favorite things I like to teach is Photoshop, because I was a photographer by trade for years. And someone will come up to me like, Diego will come up and go, yo, how do I put fire on this picture? And I'll be like, I have no idea, but I'm going to figure it out for you. And it's not a slight on me. Oh, you're a teacher. You're supposed to know everything. I will tell you that right now, I do not know everything, but I will find out. You know what I mean? That's the difference and we sit there, we look at YouTube videos, and then it's something new I just learned, and then I can pass that on to my students. Okay. So, that's really what I had for today. And please, if anything, and you're going to have to learn how to do this, and this is probably the most important part to the playlist that I set up, is you got to watch that last video, which is 5 minutes long, but it's how to export your song out and turn it into an MP3. Okay. Right now, that song I was just playing for you, nobody else can hear it unless they have GarageBand. So you have to make sure, just like iMovie, right? You go in, you hit share, export, and then whatever that format's going to be. Because we're definitely going to be talking a lot about formats as time goes on, because a lot of different companies require a lot of different formats. So I walk you step by step through that. And then last but not least, I show you how to upload that MP3 to your Schoology page. And then when you're done with it, guess what? You can email it to your friends. You can upload it to your phone if you're really happy with how it turned out. And there you go. Okay, so that's what I had for today. But keep an eye out for my emails. I may be trying to reach out to some of you. I will definitely be sending that video out tomorrow to your parents and to yourselves and your guardians to let you know what's going on. But as I said before, now is the time to reach out and start asking me for help and questions and everything, okay? Don't be scared. I am here to help you, okay? All right, everybody good? All right, so I guess I will let you all go. I know some of you that are on here right now are got a lot of work to do, so now would be the time to ask me, but good luck to you all. There's no class tomorrow. I strongly suggest you spend time getting my work done, and your sending school work especially too. But we will circle back on Monday with the new project, and don't forget the end of the market period is next Wednesday.